Independent music, the triangle of musicians, fans and music professionals. This is Tim from the Indie Bands blog, and welcome once again. Who's on today? Let's go find out. Hi and welcome to Independent Music, Indie Music Tips. The next one's number 13, and I do feel sorry for that person, but we're on number 12 at the moment, which is good. And I'm going to say hi to Jon Madge of Ko-fi Radio, who's going to talk about obtaining radio play. Hi, Jon.
Hi.
Really appreciate your time. Thanks for spurring me and everyone else who's having a listen. It's an opportunity on what is a very important topic for bands, which is radio play, and specifically it would be good if we could talk about local radio, because I know you've got something like 6-7 years experience in that market, so you're a guy who knows maybe some of the inside tricks on getting your stuff played on local radio.
In regards to getting stuff played on local radio, particularly for an emerging band, it's one of the things. It's at the same time incredibly simple and incredibly difficult. It's incredibly simple. You have to do it is all really laid out how you can get radios interested. It's incredibly difficult because it involves a lot of work on your part. Make everything you do when you get in contact with a local radio station seem exciting, glossy. If you've got a website, and you kind of have to if you're a band, make sure it looks really, really good. Make it kind of something. Make yourself something that the radio station has to be really interested in, rather than hoping to play the local angle. Pretend you're local kids who have already made it big.
Okay, so are you saying there that you don't have to upsell too much the local aspect, or are you saying make the local aspect something that seems and appeals to the person who receives that? Something really important that they shouldn't miss because it's going on locally, and we really have got to cover this.
Definitely the second one. I mean, there are local radio stations. Nearly everyone I've ever heard anywhere in the country has some kind of ambitious the local music show instead of exploring the local scene, which is great in and of itself. And if you're trying to contact those people, obviously don't pretend you're London based when you're trying to get played on the local music show in Hull and you're from Hull. That would be madness.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you acknowledge your local credentials, but there are kind of two sides to the local radio presenter and local radio researcher if they're lucky enough to have one. There's the one side where they are professionals, they're hoping to one day be on Radio 1 interviewing, whoever's chart topping that week. And those people are looking for a scoop, they're looking for something big. And if you can go, look, we'll be really interesting, we will make an interesting feature, we will enhance your career, then they're going to want you. On the other hand, there's the people who like working in local radio for its own sake. They like the local area, they're kind of invested in that. And local journalists quite often are like that. And if you can say, look, you love your local area, that's why you're a journalist in your local area, and I'm part of what's making it interesting, then again, they're going to be attracted to you. So you have to kind of, as with anything in music, you have to kind of make yourself stand out from the crowd, but also obviously play to whatever it is that they're quite obviously looking for. Yeah.
I guess that what you're talking about, and as a blogger myself, which is different, but it's similar in that we're both broadcasting something, albeit one's words and one's complete audio stuff. That it's about standing out, as you said, standing out from the crowd, and particularly, I would guess, with the career aspiring DJ, that you need to put a press release together, a professional-looking press release that actually says, okay, we are a serious band, we are serious about what we're doing, and here's our added value. This is why you need to open our email as opposed to the other 7,000 emails that you've received this week.
Yeah, that's definitely something to do. And if you're doing that, like putting that together, and the thing is, that doesn't have to be expensive. You can put together.
No, sorry. When I used the term professional, I didn't mean go to a professional press release writer. I meant actually think about what you're writing. Don't just say, "Oh, hi, I'm playing locally. I'll be great for your show."
Yeah, exactly. So almost give them the feature or article they're gonna, write or present or whatever medium it is. Give it to them already made. Write up why you're interesting. Catch their attention in the first line. And I cannot stress this enough. Email it from the right email address. If they get, a press release about, say, I got a press release the other day from a band called The Dash. It came from info@thedash.com. That's great. thedash@gmail.com would have been great too. When you get an email which looks kind of professional, or is on the borderline, and it's from Superfun Susie 96 UK at Hotmail, suddenly that really cuts into it.
That's interesting. That's a really good tip. So good. There we are. Which again stresses that point, and I'm glad that you're stressing it, because it's a big issue for me, and a big bugbear that I'm always plugging on about is do have your own website. Don't just rely on the social media sites, because that's not the way to really manage your own fans. Never mind put yourself across in a way that people go, yeah, that's different.
Yeah, that's very much it. And it's really hard because you get sites like Reverb Nation, which is a great way if you're first starting out as a band, to just get some stuff online. Because obviously that's the thing, if you're going to wait 20 weeks to put together a website and no one can listen to your stuff in the meantime, that's silly. It's stuff like Reverb Nation. But don't think that is then a website for your band. You may go, I've customized the colours and changed the font a bit. Once you're, a broadcaster who's looked at, say, 100 of those, they all look the same, no matter what, because they're all laid out the same. And that's no fault of yours, but if you can, get a website together.
Sure. The other question that does come up a lot when people are considering approaching a radio station, be it a local radio station, an internet radio station, or a national radio station, is who on earth do I send my stuff to?
Well, obviously that differs from station to station, but it kind of, the thing behind that is to do your research on it. Quite often, if it's a presenter who plays the kind of music you are, or has in any way plays something which has an angle that you can fit into, try as much as possible to contact them directly. Most local and community radio stations, and internet radio stations especially, are small enough outfits that if you send it to their main address, mark it for the attention of, it will probably get to them, and chances are they'll have the contact details of the presenter on their website. So if it's just a matter of looking around the website, take that time to find the right person, because if you accidentally send it to the news desk, I can guarantee it won't get played.
Yeah. So your advice would be with this sort of marketplace is to contact the presenter directly that's playing the music that's relevant to your style. Absolutely.
The exception of that being, if you listen to their show, and I would say if you're going to want to try and get played on someone's show, listen to it at least once. If you want to get a show in, if at the end of their show they say, and as always, send your stuff into newmusic at whatever our website is called.com. In that case, don't send it to the presenter. If they've given you an avenue, always use that. But in the absence of that, then get in contact with the person who, as far as you know, is going to be the one pressing play.
We're recording this on Thursday the 30th, and I've got a broadcast coming up tomorrow on the 31st on the website with a band who I interviewed earlier on in the week, who just done an international tour. And one point that they raised was that they talked about contacting local radio stations when they were playing gigs in the area, which I thought was a really good idea, because I always sort of get this impression. I do listen to community radio where I am, just a small station, not been around very long, just got their 24-hour broadcast license. But they pretty well exclusively play, when they're looking at the sort of the smaller music side, because they do pay big label stuff as well. Almost always the band is a local band. Whereas, is there a trick? Is there a possibility to say, okay, we're based in London and we're going to come up and play in Grimsby, and really, by not having us on your radio show, you're missing a great opportunity?
Yeah, definitely. As I was saying before, if you make yourself something, make yourself fully packaged as a story or as a segment of their show they can do it. And the second they open that email, they look at that and they go, I know where this will fit in the show. They would be mad not to play you and not to invite you or not to interview you. And that's what you've got to get across. Obviously, if they're a local radio station or community radio station, the first thing to do is don't come across that you're saying, oh, hi, we're from London and we're venturing out to the sticks to give you guys a treat. Because, no one wants to read that. So if you do say, look, we're really excited about coming to Grimsby. We're gonna be down the morning of the gig, so we've got nothing to do before sound check. If you want to interview us, we'd be only too happy to come and speak to you. Then from the business part of the mind of the radio presenter, he's going, right, okay, so we've got the interview segment, we can play a track, maybe some giveaways, something like that. They're putting it together like that, and from your point of view, all it is be enthusiastic and be interesting. If you're giving them something which they go, oh yeah, I can actually see why I as a person would tune into that, then they're much more likely to play it on the show and kind of give you some time to do it.
And I guess that sort of approach works well with both the, as you described them, the local radio presenter who loves the local area and the local radio presenter who wants to be on Radio 1 playing the morning show, I think it is. I haven't listened to Radio 1 for years, but whatever it might be on Radio 1 now that all the DJs want to get to.
Yeah. For one of them, if they can look at it and think, right, that's a bit of a scoop. That's an article which can look, an item which can look great on my CV. Yeah, I want to be able to, show that to future radio stations who give me my big break. Then that's great. It's like, see, the other radios and the ones who really love their local area. I say, as long as you don't come across as kind of arrogant or as looking like you're doing the Grimsby of the world a favour.
Yeah, quite.
Then they're going to really love the fact that you've taken time out of you managed to break free of that kind of Fortress M25 or wherever it is to get out and play some gigs to what's probably their friends or at the very least their friends or their friends.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. Now, you actually, Kofi, I'm going to pronounce it incorrectly. In my head, it's Kofi Radio, but I know that you prefer Coffee Radio. But anyway, it's cofiradio.co.uk, and I'll put the link at the end of this. Your radio station is actually doing something even slightly different and that really fits in well with what the Indie Bands blog is about, which is that you're not actually fussed about people that have got recorded material. You actually want to play bands that are playing live. What was the thought process behind that?
Well, the whole kind of background to Coffee Radio was over the conversation I had with a friend where we were sort of listening to the radio and maybe 4 or 5 bands had gone past, sort of big bands that were probably playing the main tent at Glastonbury that year. And we went, yeah, this is all really good. Should we go and see some of these guys? We're in the mood for music. So you kind of log online and you go, right, okay, this band we just heard is touring in 6 months' time and it's £75 a ticket. Right. And that was kind of just, we hit a wall of frustration because I don't know anyone who's remotely interested in music who doesn't have a friend who's in a band or, know a few bands who are gigging locally all the time. And that's the thing that hit us. There's so much great talent that's always playing in any local area anywhere. Why is radio play restricted to such a small, like a narrow stream of bands? We kind of thought that was madness, and we set out to make the Coffee Radio mostly just so bands could get some airplay, and then more importantly, you could end that airplay by saying, and that was whatever band. If you want to see them, they're playing tonight, they're playing in a week's time, they're playing on these dates. It will cost you at most £5 on the door, and it's a 20-minute walk from where you live. Because that's, to me at least, I would much rather go and see music played live than put an album on almost any day of the week.
Sure. And keeping it specific to your radio station, you're particularly interested in bands that are playing in the UK. They don't necessarily need to be based in the UK, but they need to have something coming up in the UK that you can reference, because you're seeking, although you're on the internet, your audience, you're targeting an audience in the UK, and we all target geographically. I target internationally, but we all target whatever we're targeting, and your target audience is bands playing in the UK. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So a band in Canada that's coming over here in a couple of months' time. Well worth them sending some stuff over to you guys with their dates that you can have a listen to.
Yeah, in fact, we're all about kind of using the recorded music as kind of a promotional stuff for the actual live gig, the actual chance to see the people in the flesh. So if there's a band from Canada, Australia, the US, or anywhere who wants to come and play in the UK and wants that room to be packed when they play their first gig in the UK, speaking as Coffee Radio, we can't think of anything better than playing you, giving you that promotion, and hopefully drumming up some support for you.
That's great, and it's terrific what you're doing. Now, at the moment, you're playing their podcast broadcast rather than on-air broadcast. Although there's only a delay of half an hour, and when you listen to it, it doesn't make any difference anyway. Do you have plans to be broadcasting live on a more? It's once a week at the moment, is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Do you have plans to be doing more, or is that really where you're saying, okay, we're going to be out once a week and that's what we do?
Well, to be honest, the plans long term is I'd love to have a show running every hour of every day. And live broadcast is definitely something that's in the future for us. As indeed a sort of more regular broadcast. The thing we're finding now is when we first started out, we were getting a little bit of music from here and there. We were sort of searching out a lot ourselves. Now we've kind of, people must like us because we're proving a lot more popular, and we've got bands getting cut all the time.
Yeah.
Which is really good, but it also means we're now getting an influx of punk, reggae, R&B, and it hits a point where I think the stitching together of all those different disparate genres into one show might be a little bit forced. So that would be the next big thing. We'll be trying to have different genre shows so we can kind of really focus on different styles of music in kind of the right context. That, and this is a plug coming up, we will be putting on a small festival in London this summer, around about August. That will probably be broadcast on the show after that, but more information on that on the website. Sorry about that.
No, absolutely brilliant. Because are you still looking for bands for that, or have you got all your bands booked?
No, still definitely looking for bands for that. So if you're an indie band and you want to play at the Coffee Radio Festival, the only stipulation, two stipulations. One is that you're great. That's kind of
well, that's everyone in a band, yeah. So every band ticks that box.
And two is that you're not signed to a record label. That's the main thing of Coffee Radio is we're about unsigned bands who need championing. So that's kind of, if that's you, please do get in touch.
Oh, great. Well, as I said, the links at the end of this broadcast. I really appreciate your time, John. There's some really useful stuff on both the local radio and also on internet radio, and particularly with what you're doing, because that as I said, dovetails in very nicely with what the Indie Bands blog is about, and therefore what most of the listeners to this series is about. Whilst they are trying to get recorded material out there, the vast majority are early in their careers, and they haven't got a triple album or whatever it might be behind them, and they are just trying to get themselves better known and better exposed on the live circuit. So really appreciate that, John. Thanks very much, and do keep in touch. Be good to catch up and see how things develop for the radio station over time.
Likewise, thank you very much for having me on the show, and I hope we keep in touch.
My pleasure. Speak soon.
Bye.
Finishing with Nowhere to Go by the William Street Strikers, which is the introductory track to the Indie Music Tip series.